There was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person, they said, was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies.
This seems to be the year of Katt Williams, and he's not holding back. You've probably heard about his recent explosive appearance on the Club Shay Shay podcast, where he spilled tea hotter than a scalding cup of coffee. From throwing shade at Steve Harvey to roasting Cedric the Entertainer and Kevin Hart, Katt made sure no one was safe from his fiery wit. But wait, it doesn't stop there. Even rapper Ludacris got caught in the crossfire of Katt's verbal onslaught. Now here's where it gets juicy. Katt didn't just sling insults at Ludacris. Oh no, he went straight for the jugular. Accusing Ludacris of cozying up to the Illuminati for a taste of fame and fortune, Katt didn't mince words, and he didn't spare Ludacris's wife either, hinting at some shady connections between the Illuminati and certain choices in marital partners. Of course, Ludacris wasn't about to let Katt tarnish his rep without a fight, so he did what any self-respecting rapper would do: hit the studio and spit some fire. Dropping a freestyle track, Ludacris clapped back at Katt's accusations, vehemently denying any involvement with the elusive Illuminati. But just when Ludacris thought he had put the drama to bed, Katt reared his head again, armed with what he claimed to be exclusive footage proving Ludacris's ties to the secret society. Now, if you're wondering what kind of footage Katt managed to get his hands on, you're not alone. Rumors are swirling, and it seems like everyone's on the edge of their seats waiting for the big reveal. Did Ludacris really make a deal with the devil for fame and fortune? And if so, what sacrifices did he have to make along the way? During his explosive interview on Club Shay Shay, Katt spilled some serious tea about his and Ludacris's encounters with the Illuminati. So there was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, Williams shared. It had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us. We were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person, they said, was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happened. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Katt Williams. And here's where it gets even more scandalous. Remember when Ludacris joked about shaving his head to win a Grammy? Yeah, turns out that might not have been just a joke after all. Fans started connecting the dots, noticing that Ludacris had indeed ditched his signature sideburns around the same time he started making waves in the music industry. But Katt wasn't swayed by the allure of fame and fortune. In his own words, he's more interested in protecting his integrity than chasing after millions. And while Ludacris may have found success in Hollywood, starring in the lucrative Fast and Furious franchise, Katt remained true to himself, refusing to sell his soul for a piece of the pie. Speaking of Fast and Furious, Ludacris certainly cashed in big time with his role in the blockbuster franchise. With 10 installments and counting, it's no wonder Ludacris has amassed a fortune of $40 million. But as Katt pointed out, all that glitters isn't gold. And if Ludacris's success is built on shady deals with the Illuminati, well, let's just say it might come with a price tag too high to pay. But Ludacris wasn't about to let Katt's accusations go unanswered. Dropping a scathing freestyle track, Ludacris hit back at Katt with everything he had. From flaunting his success in Katt's face to paying tribute to the late John Singleton, the director who gave Ludacris his big break, Ludacris made it clear he wasn't going down without a fight. And the drama didn't stop there. With everyone from fans to fellow celebrities weighing in on the feud, it seemed like the whole world was watching as Katt and Ludacris duked it out in the court of public opinion. Even Charleston White, never one to shy away from controversy, threw his 2 cents into the ring, siding with Katt and calling out Ludacris for his supposed guilt. But Katt wasn't satisfied with just a few bars from Ludacris. Oh no, he was ready to deliver the knockout blow. It seemed like he was biding his time, waiting for Ludacris to make his move so he could come back swinging even harder. During an appearance on incarcerated rap mogul Marion Suge Knight's Collect Call podcast, Williams stepped into Luda's realm by dropping a freestyle of his own, in which he accused the hitmaker of being a fraud. Rhyming over a piano-laden instrumental, Williams takes a few verbal jabs at Luda, referencing his 2004 single #1 spot, while claiming that he's the more menacing figure of the two. "I'm coming for your #1 spot / one of us a killer, and the other one is not / one of us the realist, and the other one a fraud," the comedic actor said of the rapper turned actor. He continued, adding, "Oh Chris, I wish it never came to this / and you pissed rapper free for the first time, but you dissin this, the wrong side of history, and a time like this / so Ludacris. Williams then refers to the Atlanta rep as a uterus and alleges that he's bi-curious, while claiming that he's fast and furious in real life, as opposed to Luda. Away from the drama and controversy, Ludacris has always presented himself as a devoted family man. In 2014, he tied the knot with his current wife, Udoy, a model and philanthropist with a degree in biomedical engineering from Mercer University. Together, they share a commitment to giving back to their community, with Udoy leading a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting victims of DV and SA. However, Quincy Jones is a whole different story. While the record producer has never come out of the closet, rumors about Jones being on the DL and SAing young male artists have been circulating for years. Much like Diddy a few years back, Quincy landed in a world of trouble when the streets accused him of SAing R&B singer Tevin Campbell back when he was a minor. Campbell, whom Jones called an underrated musician in the Vulture interview, took to Twitter to address the rumors after they began to resurface. "Now I'm trending. Folks will really say some disgusting things," the Can We Talk singer said. "Tevin was SA'd by Quincy. Get the F out of here with the devil," he continued. Several laughing emojis accompanied the tweet. Elsewhere in the interview, Jones stated how the Beatles were the worst musicians in the world, that he dated Ivanka Trump years ago, and that Marlon Brando slept with other male entertainers such as James Baldwin and Richard Pryor. Tevin was once regarded as one of the best musical talents in the world, but having joined the industry as a minor, many people were out to take advantage of him, Quincy included. Campbell's follow-up collaboration would be with none other than Prince when he was just 15, for the top 15 Billboard Hot 100 Round and Round, peaking at number 3 R&B. By 18, there were only 3 voices allowed to vamp out in both ad-libs and in keys higher than everyone else on 1994's Black Men United soul charity single You Will Know, written by D'Angelo. And they were Stokely Williams, Brian McKnight, and an 18-year-old Tevin Campbell on a song that included everyone from Usher and Gerald Levert to El DeBarge and Lenny Kravitz. This was the level of company Tevin Campbell was not only keeping, but holding his own with smiling confidently and shimmering with ingenuine talent until everything fell apart.
I saw you steady when I started.
With a 4.5-octave range, young Campbell was often referred to as the male Whitney Houston of his day by those who closely studied vocal technique. He had so clearly researched Houston's approach to the song, right down to her riffs, runs, and builds, that his altino countertenor on Alan and Marilyn Bergman's 1992 Quincy Jones produced one song off of the official Olympics Barcelona Gold album, so completely followed the 1988 blueprint for One Moment in Time, that one could be forgiven for believing the song was Whitney's. She would go on to perform it live repeatedly for presidents and in concert thereafter. Campbell would be called to slay Whitney's style again at age 20 on the 1996 Olympic album for The Impossible Dream. Of the 5 Grammy nominations he'd received before his 20th birthday, Campbell lost to the likes of Luther Vandross, Al Jarreau, Ray Charles, Babyface, and Peak Boys II Men. That's the level of artistic competition he was considered in the company of in 1991, 1993, and 1995, respectively. In addition to selling over 3 million albums during this run, did I also mention Campbell acted in sitcoms and cop shows alongside such talents as Will Smith and Brandy? Well, Will Smith is another person alleged to have been SA'd by Quincy.
So Benny walks me in and introduced me to Quincy. I'm like, "Hey Q, what's up, man?" He's like, "Hey man, you know, I saw your music videos. I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing. Tell me your rap name again."
If you are new to this, then allow me to bring you up to speed. Quincy, Campbell, and Will Smith were all involved in a S-chain revolving around the legendary music producer. A few months ago, celebrated actor Will Smith revealed that he lied to Quincy Jones about being able to act in order to get The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The NBC sitcom ran for 6 seasons from 1990 to 1996, providing the necessary boost Smith needed to get his film career going. With its humorous take on the fish out of water trope and its incorporation of real-world events taking place within America at that time, The Fresh Prince stood out among its competitors.
Is he ordering other people's lawyers around? Like, that's his lawyer, Quincy. Leave that man alone.
Fans of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air may have been treated to plenty of behind-the-scenes stories during the 2021 reunion special, but Smith shared a little anecdote that not many people know about. In 2023, while speaking with CBS Mornings about his Fresh Prince days, the actor revealed that when the show's executive producer, Quincy Jones, asked him if he could act, he lied and said yes. At the time, Smith's entertainment industry experience had been restricted to performing as a rapper alongside DJ Jazzy Jeff. But as the veteran star explained, it's best to say yes when asked if you can do something, even if you can't. I think it's important, as a rule, if someone asks you if you can do something, always say yes, even if you can't. Quincy Jones wants to have an audition, right? And Michael Jackson was behind me, 48 million sold on Thriller, and Oprah was behind me on the other side, The Color Purple. And I'm sitting there and, I look back at Michael and he was like, what are you gonna do, Will? And it was like, just in that moment, Quincy was like, you're making a decision that's gonna affect the rest of your life. And I was like, let's do it. But it was also around the same time that Campbell was topping the charts with the help of Quincy. But of course, a little favor to accompany the success. It is this kind of storied beginning that made Tevin Campbell fans go completely in on author and social influencer blogger Lovey Ajayi when she dared on August 16, 2018 to say the following. Someone suggested Tevin Campbell sing at Aretha's tribute. Under what rock did they pull that name from? And it wasn't just everyday fans that dragged Lovey so hard following the quip that Tevin Campbell trended on Twitter for days thereafter. Celebrities chimed in too. Director Ava DuVernay, among others, all came roaring to the defense of Campbell, publicly stating that she'd be booking Campbell on a forthcoming episode of Queen Sugar just to learn about these disrespectful millennials. Reportedly, DuVernay has made good on that promise, and Campbell appeared on the show. For his part, Campbell, with the utmost of class, thanked his fans and, in the slyest bit of clapback, posted a picture of him young, bright, and beautiful, beaming with Aretha Franklin while subtly mentioning all the times he was in the Queen of Soul's company, making the prospect of him publicly honoring her not so far-fetched in either talent or relationship. In any case, the period of 1993 to 1995 for Campbell was so lit that despite the hardships he went through, it might be hard to fathom today. He was the opening act for Janet Jackson's Janet Tour, which would be akin to opening for Beyoncé's Lemonade Tour for this generation. He had 3 top 5 R&B hits in a row from his multi-platinum album, I'm Ready album, including another #1 in Can We Talk. In fact, he'd have had 2 #1 with I'm Ready, were it not for R. Kelly's 12-week run with Bump and Grind at the top. For his releases between the ages 14 to 16, Campbell was in studios recording with the likes of Prince, Babyface, Al B. Sure, Daryl Simmons, Jimmy Jam, and Terry Lewis, and Narada Michael Walden, all R&B, pop, and soul royalty in the production game. Homophobia would also prove to be the undoing of Campbell, beginning with the styling for the first single for the video for his 3rd album, 1996's Back to the World, the first to be executive produced by Campbell, and which featured production by Babyface, Stevie J, Jamie Jazz, Keith Crouch, Sean Puffy Combs, and Chucky Thompson. It only went gold after a run of pure platinum. By the time Campbell was arrested in 1999 at the age of 22 for soliciting oral S from an undercover cop and followed it with a disastrous forced outing interview with Jamie Foster Brown in Sister to Sister magazine in 2003, Campbell's career as an A-lister had already come to a close. That said, Jones has a lot more to answer for than allegedly essaying Tevin. According to some reports, Quincy made advances toward Tupac Shakur right before his passing. Tupac was dating Quincy's daughter, Kadada Jones, and it looks like he was looking to marry into the family. At least professionally, the street suggested that Tupac was planning to leave behind Death Row Records for Quincy's label. However, the deal fell apart at the very last second, all because Quincy asked Tupac for a questionable favor, and Tupac wasn't about to go down that road. The truth about what exactly happened between the late rapper and the executive producer was supposed to come out during Tupac's interview with radio personality Angie Martinez. The tell-all interview was reportedly 2 hours long, but get this, Tupac's words never saw the light of day. Angie ended up releasing only 12 minutes of the controversial interview.
The East Coast, West Coast thing is a musical thing. That's separate. That's a whole thing separate to itself. That's a musical.
Quincy is not the first to be accused of demanding sexual favors from young male artists in exchange for fame and success.
Great leader. Great leader. Living legend. That's what we sitting in front of, right?
Quincy? Seems like Luda couldn't stop himself from singing Quincy's praises during the clip. Anyway, the internet is on Katt's side for the simple reason that none of the people he has called out accused him of lying. Instead, they took shots at him for his addiction, which Katt already shut down. One person who has accused Williams of addiction is Kevin Hart. Surprisingly, this happened after Katt had accused him of being a Hollywood plant. For context, Katt Williams' expression of vitriol for Kevin Hart and claims that he took a shortcut to superstardom have turned fans into pseudo-investigative journalists, digging up the origins of the comic's grievances. Williams has been the #1 topic of conversation since his Unleashed Club Shay Shay podcast appearance on January 3rd. He called out several comedy peers for the damning comments comments they have made about him in the media, most notably on host Shannon Sharpe's podcast platform. But in regards to Hart, who has yet to appear on the show, Williams views the mogul in the making as a sellout who allowed white executives to use him as a puppet, putting him in a dress for laughs and selling his soul for success. The Friday After Next actor also carries hard feelings for the Real Husbands of Hollywood star for further spreading the narrative that Williams' once undeniable trajectory of stardom was derailed by his rumored addiction. While promoting his film Night School in 2018, Hart said that Williams failed to take responsibility for his actions and that his detour from being a bigger star is not the fault of the white man or others. "You were the guy. You were set up to be the star," said the stand-up comic on The Breakfast Club. "You didn't show up to work. You effed off promo shoots. You effed off your promo effing, the trips they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios quit effing with you." When asked by Charlemagne the God why Williams was a risk, Hart plainly stated, "He chose." He would go on to say he admires his peer despite the fictional world he lives in. In any case, these past few months have been a roller coaster for Hollywood, with key figures unveiling the darker side of some influential figures, from allegations against Diddy to open pay controversy, and now Ludacris's sacrifices for fame. It's a saga unraveling as the truth emerges. The thrones of powerful men seem to be on shaky grounds. For now, it's been crickets on Ludacris's end, leaving fans speculating. Will he brush off Katt's comments, or is he in the studio working to retaliate with a new track? One thing's for sure, the drama is far from over, and the echoes of Katt's allegations continue to resonate, promising a riveting chapter in the industry's unfolding story. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.